The lion got stuck in a trap for 3 years. Later the unexpected happened. It wasn't easy for the king of the jungle to get stuck in a metal trap for 3 years. His pride had lost hope, and it looked like the lion would soon lose its life. However, his fate had other plans. 36 months later, a miracle took place which changed his life forever. In an attempt to catch his prey, the king of the jungle fell into the metal trap. No matter how hard the lion tried, there was no way for him to escape. His pride would bring him food now and then, and this continued for 3 long years. When every member lost hope, that's when a miracle happened, and something unexpected took place. In Tanzania, a pride of lions took care of their young brother for 3 years, who was slowly losing his life because of metal rods that had bound his neck since childhood. This heartbreaking and touching story took place in the Mikumi National Park in Tanzania with a family of lions. Because of poachers, animals' lives are always at risk. Their body parts are legally sold to make money. As this lion was chasing its prey, it unknowingly became prey to the hunter's trap. In 2009, as usual, some poachers set traps in the park hoping they would capture animals. Sadly, it was this illegal act that left a young lion in a state of misery for 3 years. The 4th largest park in Tanzania is filled with various species of animals and is no less than a paradise. One afternoon, a lion cub was out on his own to catch his lunch and make his family proud. When he got to the field area, he lay down in the tall grass and waited for an unsuspecting animal to pass by. Little did the cub know that an unpleasant surprise was waiting for him. Around 20 minutes had gone by, and the baby lion was getting frustrated and tired. The weather was becoming scorching, and the cub desperately wanted to sit under a shade. It looked like the baby would go back to his den empty-handed and empty stomach, but suddenly he spotted an antelope. For lions to hunt, they need to be close to their prey because they can run at a high speed, but only for so long, which can prove to be exhausting. This young cub waited till the antelope was within close range. However, when he missed his target and the antelope began to run for his life. Obviously, the lion ran behind its prey. It wasn't long before the devastating happened. The cub was so focused on catching the antelope that he didn't see the snare set by the poachers. The poor baby ran straight into the inhumane device with a metal catching ring and the bait in the middle of it. The moment the cub put its head inside the trap, it instantly slammed shut. He kept trying to be set free, but it was like quicksand. The more the cub struggled, the more the metal ring tightened around its neck. The antelope seemed to have forgotten that the lion was about to take him down. It waited, perhaps out of pity, to see what would eventually happen to the young lion. But after waiting for about 5 minutes, the antelope left, leaving the poor cub to his terrible fate. The sun had begun to set and slowly the moon became the only source of light, but the trapped animal didn't give up. Thankfully, at dawn the cub successfully pulled himself from the trap. However, the metal snare still remained around his neck. The lion was too tired to run away to his pride, and just laid down on the grass. After a while, the poor animal gained some strength and went to search for his pride with the snare, which was cutting deep into his flesh. The cub was bleeding profusely, and its family members could see his pain and sympathize with it. Unfortunately, all they could offer was their love, moral support and care. Of course, none of them could remove the snare from his neck. As time passed by, the lion's injuries became fatal. Day by day, the snare dug deeper into its neck, making it hard for him to grow a mane, breathe, or eat. The trap made it impossible for the cub to hunt, and therefore, his family members would bring him food. According to the employees of the reserve, they were all struck by the behavior of wild animals. The brothers and sisters of the wounded animal supported him by bringing him food from hunting. For 3 continuous years, whenever they went out to hunt, they always came back with the cub's share. They didn't assassinate him, as they usually do with weak males. On the contrary, the lions did not let him lay in peace all this time. While people were powerless to help, the caretaker added. Finally, in 2012, the rangers and tourists together tracked down the moribund lion. Unfortunately, when they started tracking down the animal, they discovered that saving the young lion was going to be difficult. He started hiding far away in the wilderness, so the rangers couldn't locate him. Besides, the cub was protected by his kin, and they didn't let anyone come near him. Eventually, the wildlife rescue team had to interfere in the rescue operation to save the animal. Everyone did their best, and their hard work paid off. They caught the injured lion and cut away the electrical wire around his neck. It was just in the nick of time, because if they had taken longer to save the cub, the snare would have suffocated him. According to the keepers of the reserve, the lion has almost completely recovered. A mane has finally begun to grow on his neck and head, and only deep scars now remind him of terrible wounds. Ever since the rescue, this cub would often go to the place where the rescuers removed the snare around his neck. Although he didn't get too close to the site, he would just stare at the spot for a few minutes and then walk away. The rangers believe it was the lion's way of expressing his gratitude to his rescuers.